There's a lot of gradual downward pressure in the crypto market right now. Nothing big, but we are seeing it causing Avalanche to kind of creep down. Now, Avalanche is certainly not falling down, it's not plummeting down. There's no problems here in the short term or the long term, but it does seem like price is just kind of working its way gradually down and has been since January. And I thought we'd talk about that today. Also, I will bring up the fact it's not only Avalanche we're seeing this pattern on, we're seeing this pattern on other coins, which kind of gives it more importance and more reasons that this might be the path we're going to take in the near future. All right, so let's talk about this now. First of all, there are absolutely zero complaints coming out of my mouth on Avalanche and what it has done. We were around 8, roughly, let's say 8, 9 back in October, and we've gone up and hit a high of almost 50 in December. Even now, if we use 9 as the starting point, we're almost 4 times what we were back in October, even standing today after giving up these gains in January. So there are no complaints coming from me for Avalanche. There is only positive optimism for what we can achieve in 2024 across crypto, across Bitcoin, across Avalanche. I am a long-term holder of crypto. I just want to get all that out of the way. I don't want this to be a negative video. It's not meant to be a negative video. It's just meant to see what's happening over the next few days and weeks. So we did have this run up. We've seen this give back in January, which we've also seen on Bitcoin. Okay, this is January. Where's the beginning of January? Right here. So January, Bitcoin started out and actually started making higher highs at 45,000, which surprised me for us to be making those highs that quickly. But then we went up into Bitcoin, hit 49,000 after the ETFs were approved and have been giving those gains back. So really, if you take out the ETF approval, which you can't, but if you did, this is what's been happening in Bitcoin. And that's really been what's happening across a lot of these coins. We've just been giving back gains in January. It's been kind of a slow month, but that's 100% to be expected. I mean, look, how can you expect price to run up that much in 2.5 months and not give something back? So I'm not worried in the even the smallest bit. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci level from here. Okay, so it's from the lows here to the highs up in December, and I'm going to focus on this 0.618 line, which is a pretty interesting line in Fibonacci and nature and mathematics and trading, which a lot of people use to determine if the trend has changed. Like we have this big uptrend, but if we're still above the 618 line, then we're still are. I hate to use the word bullish because it could obviously fall down and turn bearish pretty quickly. But I'm just saying, you things are still okay. Okay, if that makes sense. If we're above this line, things are still okay. Now, I do think that we're going to actually fall below this line soon. And that does not mean that things are all of a sudden not okay. At that point, you still have to zoom out. You still have to look at what Avalanche has done in the past few months and how well it's doing in the long term. So even if we get below that 618 line, we're doing just fine. This is a beautiful chart starting from here up. Everything is fine. It's just that I think there is some indication over the next few days and weeks, we're going to find Avalanche creeping down into this range here. Okay, what's that? 30 to 33. I think we'll head here next. And the reason is there's several, but one is back to Bitcoin. Okay, back to Bitcoin. We've had this fall since the ETFs were approved. We're kind of sitting down here at the bottom of this rising channel, but I do think we're going to tag 40,000 pretty soon. Maybe it looks like that. Maybe we do gradually go up to 44 and some change before we hit 40,000, like we've kind of been doing this up and down here. But I just think we're going to hit 40,000 before we ever going to hit some all-time, or not all-time highs, but some swing highs from this run-up. The reason is you just got to zoom out. Again, let's look long-term. Let's look at Bitcoin long-term. We've been going up since, goodness, was this a low back in November 2022? We've been going up from 16,000, and we've had this magnificent run. Here we had a run, a pullback, a run, a pullback, a run, a pullback. You got to expect a pullback here. Now that pullback could be 40,000. It could be 38,000. Some, I've got this level marked here, could even be 34,000. Obviously, we want Bitcoin to moon. We want Avalanche to moon. We want all this to go up, but that's just not reality. Even if you look at the long term, even if we see something like this, that's 100% healthy, constructive price action. Now, we could sit down here in range for a while. I don't know. And I don't even know that we'll hit 34 to 38. But we have moved so far up in Bitcoin that if we hit 34 and price went up from there, you would still look at that as that's a healthy move in the market. It's just a natural retracement and correction. And then we continue on up. But I do think we're going to hit 40,000 in Bitcoin here pretty soon. And if we do, I think Avalanche is going to enter this area. Okay. And you can kind of see that we do have this trend line here that is lower highs. Look at that. Okay. And you could even draw, I mean, you could draw a channel where you're also seeing lower lows. Okay. It would look something roughly like that. So you can definitely see just with your eye that we're in this downward channel. And to make a higher high or to go higher, we've got to break out of this channel. Now, I've already told you, I think we're going to hit this before we break out. And we may even continue on down into this channel before we break out. We're seeing this pattern on mini coins, which gives it more importance. Okay, ADA's got its own thing going on. VET has its own thing going on. Solana broke out of its channel, but is kind of creeping back into its into this downtrend. DOT is doing the same thing, just did a video on that. Matic, same thing. See, I mean, pretty much any major coin I pull up, you can see this kind of downtrend we have going on. And that's because everything is following Bitcoin, giving back some of those gains. It's a natural giving back, right? It's not like we're not seeing big red bars down to 12, right? Crypto's not being destroyed, and it's not going to be destroyed, in my opinion. We're just gradually experiencing the natural breathing in and out of the market. And I think we're going to end up here on this level, and we'll just have to see where the market takes us there. And it's really going to depend on Bitcoin. So that's what I mean by this downward pressure. That's what I mean by this creeping down we're seeing in coins, including Avalanche. I think we'll be down here in the next few days / weeks. If you're looking to pick up some, it just depends on how aggressive you want to be. Goodness, still pretty good discount from where we were at the highs here. And I can't predict 2024. I don't know the future, but boy, I would certainly be surprised if we're not above these highs in sometime in 2024. Now, how high, I don't know, but I'd be surprised if we're not above 50 at the end of 2024. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'd be surprised if we aren't above 50 in 2024, maybe even comfortably above 50. So even now is a good discount. Here would be a good discount. And certainly if we get down to 24, that would be some time to pick you up some more Avalanche if you are so inclined. Everything's looking fine long term. Let's hold some patience after this nice run up, and let's watch the market together. All right, y'all take care. I'll keep you updated.